All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to, I think it's episode 77. I've lost count. All the days just seem to be running together at this point, but welcome to my weekly GEMP game review series. I am your host, Chris Gogolin. Hope you're all out there being smart, being safe, keeping yourselves away from other diseased people or not diseased people. I feel like each week we get closer and closer to an actual episode of The Walking Dead. I've already sized up all the people in my neighborhood who are going to be the first ones to die. Um, from not listening to the quarantine and not doing what they're supposed to, and all of those one things. Hey, Nutritious, 11 months. Thank you for renewing your subscription. Um, but yeah, I'm sure some of you guys in your areas too. I mean, if you've been following Brian Fred on Facebook, he's been losing his stuff more and more a little each day, um, as more people continue just to come into his store to just do random shopping for random things that they don't really need, that they just aren't really taking it seriously. And we've already had what 1,600 people die from the coronavirus. Hey, Gordal, thank you for renewing your subscription. Glad to see you guys all tuning in, renewing your subscriptions with your Twitch Prime, and continuing to help support the Players Committee with your free donations because you're already getting the benefits of Amazon Prime, so you're just kicking us a little bit on the back end as well, and we very much appreciate all of that. Don't forget, when you hit your 12 months, make sure to send me an email with your screenshot showing your 12-month subscription and letting me know if you've already gotten prizes along the way, because I misplaced my master list. I'm sure I'll find it somewhere. Um, in terms of, I know I sent stuff out to people at like 3 months and 6 months, um, but there's some people who haven't gotten anything yet, and some people who got the 6 month and now they're just waiting to get to their 12-month prize. So I will take you at your word for it. Please be honest. Eventually, I will find the list, and you don't want me to double check and be like, "Hey, I sent you stuff twice." Um, but yeah, hopefully everyone out there's being safe. There's plenty of Star Wars going on GEMP. We did our stress test last week. We had over 25 tables going simultaneously at one point. Loading new tables was a little laggy. Logging into the game was a little laggy. Trying to do deck builder stuff was a little laggy. But actual playing the game mechanic wise wasn't too bad. So, very optimistic for the upcoming MPC event, which will be taking place here in 2.5 weeks. We'll be hopefully having the brackets out by next week to give everybody about 2 weeks to prepare for the upcoming tournament. We just had to confirm the last few spots of people that I hadn't heard back from yet. I got all that information. We actually bumped one more person up off the wait list. We got 5 people in off the wait list, which I think was pretty good. So um, here's all the details here. I separated out the event details to make it easier to find, and I'll be doing a separate. This is all the timeline of stuff. I'll be doing a separate thread with a few rules notes and things like that because this is a little bit different tournament. Some of you may not have played in some of the online tournaments before, so in terms of how does a time loss work, or what happens if I concede a game, or my internet connection craps out? Oh, what does that mean? So those will all be the questions that we'll try and answer ahead of time, so that way things run smoothly on tournament day. But like I said, we got our 64 people. Should be a great field. Certainly have a few prior champions in here. We added Justin and Steve, and we also picked up a couple people off the wait list here. Actually, Kyle just got in, so we got 5 off the wait list. But they're former champions. We've got Chris Kelly, our defending champion. Reed, who's a 2-time champion, is playing. Never missed an NPC, and he's not going to miss the online version either, even though he really doesn't like playing on GEMP. He really doesn't feel like it's the real Star Wars game, that it prompts you, I think, too much for actions to take, and the game kind of plays for you. I think is one of his big concerns. Or the other thing too is the glitches. I know he was really big on Black Sun, and we were having the issues with the Black Sun agents not working right. I think he was just like, kind of, I'm over it. I'm done. Moving on. But we got Mishki, who's been in the Final Four 2 or 3 times. Um, yeah, should be a heck of a time. B. Fred has been in the Final Four a couple times. Joe Olson, previous champion. So yeah, lots of good players. Should be an interesting time seeding people and trying to figure out where to put everybody. You know, ones, twos, threes. A lot of them could be interchangeable. Ones and twos, yes. Threes and fours, certainly. Five through seven are all pretty much either splitting hairs or most likely it's a teammate thing. Um, it's kind of how we go with that. Sometimes you have to just move people around because, oh, you're in so and so's bracket and that's who you play test with. So it's never like a true. If we just ranked everybody 1 through 64 and said, screw it, this is how you're just going to play, yeah, okay, we could do that. But we don't like doing that because then there's a very good chance that you're probably going to play someone you play all the time in the very early rounds of the tournament. And we try and like to save that for a little later. The guys you're playtesting with, you're discussing decks with, and it's like, yeah, and you're playing in the first round. Congratulations. It's like, great. This is awesome. No love for the newbie first timers. We do have a few people playing in their first ever MPC. Right there, Nate playing in his first. Tim Simon hasn't played in one in quite a number of years. MHT's been a finalist or a Final Four before. He's back playing from New Zealand, where I believe he currently is still away. It's going to be a hell of a time zone difference for him, but he's going to find a way to make it work. This is Matt Lutz's first time playing, probably Kyle's first time playing. Yeah, we got some first time guys. It's definitely Connor's first time playing. So some of these West Coast guys that haven't been able to, Steve Yeager, probably his first time playing an NPC. Steve was a competitive player back in the Decipher area and early PC years, like through like maybe 04, 05, and then just kind of, moved away from the game. I don't think Ryan's played in an NPC. Brad probably hasn't played in an NPC. So definitely going to have some first-time players as well. And wish we could have had you all in New Brunswick to meet you guys in person. You guys can meet everybody else. Some of you have met, other people at like Endor and things like that, or Minneapolis. But yeah, welcome to to your first match play championship. I know some of you guys have played in Batmouse's GEM PC, which is still ongoing. We'll take a quick look at the old leaderboard there for the final four. Oh, looks like Jared and Joe played game two, and Jared won and advanced. Jared had won the first game by 13, but it looks like Jared played game two, and he's advancing over Joe, so Jared is in the finals. Congratulations to Jared on making all the way there. Adam and I played our first game last night. Adam won by 7 with his Dark Side deck. He played Court. He beat my Hitco by 7 because I played like a jackass. And no, he played very well. I made a mistake on like turn 3, and it just dug me into a hole that I never really got out of. So whittling it down to 7, I guess I have to take as a personal accomplishment. But I would have rather have won by about 17 if things had gone a little differently. So I forgot to clash before the battle. That's really all it came down to. I just auto passed in my deploy phase, and he went and battled, and yeah, he got first action, and that was to use Forlom and cancel Leia Rebel Princess's game text. So, yeah. Oops. That's why auto pass sometimes bites you in the ass. So if you're playing in the match play championship, either turn that shit off or be really careful about where you mouse your arrow. And don't just, hey, yeah, done, 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 done. Yeah. Otherwise, you do things like that. So we're going to play tomorrow night, I think. 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central. Yeah, and I got to find a way to beat Adam by 8 to make it to the finals. It's not bad. It's not an insurmountable goal there. Eight is enough, right? We're going with 8 is enough. You've played Grand Prix. Well, yes. Well, we used to have events in San Diego, of course. It was a local event for you, Nathan. So yes, I'm sure you were there with Cam, who also never really travels. or certainly doesn't anymore now that he's got, like he adopted like 9 kids. Um, yeah, but there were a few guys. But hopefully we'll get you up to Endor. That's a short flight. You can tag along with Thornton and Schoenthal or something, and get on up to an Endor Grand Prix since the SoCal Grand Prix has moved on. Um, but yeah, I'm glad to see some first-time people get into the events. And Andy, thank you for renewing your subscription for month number 5. Considering Worlds at some point. I will let you know. They were talking about this in my team chat the other day. You want to book your flights for Worlds now? uh, Flights to DC for October for Worlds weekends were at astronomically low prices. I believe somebody was saying they got their flight to DC for Worlds for $79 round trip because there's just nobody flying and the airlines want the money now. And yeah, we're assuming that all this crap will be over by then. I mean, it's 6 months away. It's a pretty safe bet that the world will either have returned to normal or the whole world will have gone completely to hell, and money won't matter anymore. So it won't matter how much money you have in your pocket because we'll all be out there running around with hatchets and chainsaws, uh, scavenging the countryside for resources. So you might want to look into booking those flights now. Take advantage of the ridiculously low discounts going on. So, Beluga, thank you for renewing your subscription, month number 8. Always appreciated. The other thing we got to wrap up here. Today's the 30th, so we got one day left. Let's check out the old leaderboard. All Stars went on a streak. He got to 11-1 with 45. Paul hanging on to second, 44.5. Eric picked up his win, but he only improved to 43.28. So he must not have beaten somebody. But it was going to be hard for Eric to catch. Eric had one game left earlier today, and he was right at 43 even. But everybody else was already finished in like this whole bracket here. So pretty much anybody he was going to play was going to be down in like the 23-point range down here, which is basically 6-6. These guys are all 6-5 right now. So by losing to Eric, they would become 6-6. So it was going to be hard for him to really improve his strength of schedule enough. I guess he's hoping for now is if he played anybody on this side of the board who's trying to get their 12 or their 8 or their 12 games in, that they pick up 1 or 2 more wins that either boost his score or that people that Paul or Justin played lose. That they played some people on this side of the board and they pick up some losses. But I mean, if most of the people you played are all in this group right here, on this side of the board, their scores aren't going to change. They're locked and loaded. They hit their 12. So yeah, we have 3 11-1s, and I don't think anybody else. Well, hang on. What do we got here? No, that's a 7-2. Good run for Kessling so far, 7-2. You can certainly pick up 3 more wins and get to 32 and get up here in this group. Could help him later down the road with a potential at-large bid or something. But yeah, I don't think anybody else is really in a position to make that big of a run. Bill can get to 28, and all these guys back here. Yeah. And then you got this guy, 0 games played. He's fallen further and further behind in the Hollow Theater standings. Looks like Queso's going to be wearing all kinds of Pittsburgh gear for the foreseeable future at this rate. Is it bad I consider going 6-6 a major accomplishment? Absolutely not. Given the quality and the caliber of players in this field and the variety of decks that are going around and floating around, going 500 is a pretty good month for a lot of people. If you're a 2-time world champion and you go 500, that would be a disappointment. If you're someone who hasn't made a top 8 at a major event, going 500 in this kind of field, that's an accomplishment you should be proud of. So That you just have to temper your expectations based on your performances. And you went 6-6 this month. Awesome. How can we build on that? How can you go 7-5 next month? That's the kind of did you lost 6 games? How many of them were close games that maybe one or two little things would make a difference? I lost a game by 5. Okay, is there something I could have done that maybe I would have won by 5 instead? Those are the little things now you should be go back, watch your replay links, which you can do very easily yourself. Go to game history. Bam. History links. Yep, there's all the decks I've been practicing with. Haha. You just saw them. I'm not playing any of those anyway, anytime soon. Um, yeah, I've been practicing with Profit. I haven't made it past turn 3 in a game of Profit yet. Everybody either concedes. It's like the first battle doesn't go their way. They're like, I'm out. I'm not playing it. I'm done. You're like, great. Isn't that fun? Yeah, got through 3 turns of setting stuff up. Oh, what's that? I played 3PO in a gift, and you're playing Black Sun, and the first card you tried to get rid of him didn't work. Oh, well, then I just lose. Okay, well, thanks for queuing up the deck. Thanks for queuing up the game there, buddy. So, yeah, enough rambling on about that. So we've also got some other things. The Colorado locals only. If you watched the Holo Theater show this week, one of the swing and a miss questions was, would Queso win that tournament? I emphatically said that would be a miss. And I was correct. Congrats, Justin, JagTech, on winning that league. Got 8 games in, whereas Queso managed to play 5 games in his Colorado league. Okay, can't play any OCS games, but he can get 5 Colorado games in. I see how it is. But all right, so it looks like we've got Huntdown versus Legend going on. All right, we'll see what else is. We'll come back to some of these games. Surprisingly, it's a little slow in the lobby right now. Usually there's some better games. Justin is a lock for our locals, except Cube. Yeah, I mean he's a great player and he practices and plays all the time on GEMP, so he's just continuing to get better. Um, and I expect him to start, perhaps this year, if not this year, by next year. I certainly think we'll see Justin crack a top 8 at an event. Maybe we'll even see him later down the road qualify for the OCS. I think he finished fairly well this month. Jag Tech, all right, 26 points. That's 7-5. So yeah, could certainly keep him consistently through the standings. 8-4, 9-3 is kind of what you need to go. 8-4, I think, is kind of going to be the cutoff. Usually, consistently, whatever that is, 8. It's that 28 points a month. You basically need to average throughout the tournament to kind of be in the running for an at-large bid. Maybe right around there. So, you fall off a little month. You got 26 this month. Maybe you bounce back and maybe you get to 30 the next month, or you hit a couple of 28s, and some people miss some games. So certainly, it's a long season. It is a bit of a grind, but the at-large bids are there. So don't forget about those. Make sure you get your games in. All right. Anything else going on the old PC forums? I think we have a new errata list printed with the new slips for the sewer, and I believe that was announced that it would be somewhere. Oh, we also have some marketing team changes. Congrats to Dan on becoming a more active participant in the marketing team, and Menzel to revising his role to be one that will be a bit less chaotic and still allow him some free time to spend quality time with his family while just supervising some smaller projects to make sure we keep getting good prize support and things like that. But I feel like Keith just made an announcement. Maybe it's here. Yes, we got a new errata PDF that has a new sewer, a new ambush which has the episode 1 icon, and the new make 10 men, which now spies deploy -1 only to Scarif. The cards are coded correctly in GEMP. The text hopefully should be updated now. We could find out. Let's take a look. Let's go to the old deck builder. Make 10 men. Rebel spies deploy -1 to Scarif. Excellent. So the images have been updated. So now everybody can be playing with the proper text accordingly. ISB hidden base. Yes. TTO hyperdrive. Alright. I guess we'll pop into this Quarantine League game for a few minutes and see what's going on. I don't have a game queued up for this week. It's been a bit chaotic here. My wife has been sick for the last few days. We don't think it's anything serious, but keeping an eye on it. I think he was 9 at the last one. Yeah. Yeah, I know he was right there near the end of. I think he might have been in a win and in situation at the Endor Grand Prix and might have lost his last game to somebody. Oh, we got dueling. now, now my interest is piqued. Okay. He's also pulled all of his shields already on turn 1. He assumed he's going to need Coward to go with his IAO Secret plans. No weapon leving, a grabber, and firepower. It's interesting that he would pull all that stuff before really even knowing what his opponent has going on. He also drew to 13, which is never really a number you want to get to. Meanwhile, Jonas is going to drop 3PO and start drawing. He's got 4 Lum over here. He's got 3PO. Luke's hanging out on Octo. And they're both just losing to Visage damage. Epic Duel, not going to do a whole lot against Luke. However, there could be a Kenobi we might see dueled this game. The circle will be complete. Dad was sick yesterday, so I understand. Yeah, I appreciate it. She just has that cough. She was kind of a little sniffly and sneezy over the weekend. That seems to have resolved itself, but the cough is still there, and that's what we're keeping an eye on. And we're practicing our social distancing, keeping ourselves at arm lengths apart, which is not fun. Any of you married people out there or people in committed relationships know that obviously you want to be with the one you love and not be, you know, AR-5 and from across the room. He's got the Yavin 4 docking bay. Sure, because why not? If you're going to play a Battleground docking bay, why not play the Yavin 4 one? That way you can get to the Yavin 4 War Room against that Yavin Ops deck, right? I'm already confused, but we'll keep an eye on things. Alright, so we got Vane. You got the castle out. Vane's going to pull a Vader. We're going to see a Vader go to a docking bay and flip. Although I doubt he will stay flipped for long. I assume once Vader hits the table, then we'll see the other Maz's castle site come out. And then like Qui-Gon and Obi or Leia and Qui-Gon or somebody will go hang out there. Yep. Absolutely nutritious, and hopefully everybody just continues to stay safe, get their rest, don't push themselves too hard, take your vitamins, say your prayers. Hulk Hogan was right about some things. Um, but yeah, get your vitamin C, get your rest, and just don't exert yourself too much because obviously this is a uh, respiratory lung based ailment. So, okay, Dr. Torch. Once Jones went above 12, here. So, a guy who plays Monarch draws to 16. All right. Oh, the irony. That's going to put a bunch of cards from Jones' hand back. I just PM'd you a just for fun replay that ends on turn 5 or 6. Oh, okay. Yeah, he suckered him into it, right? He lured him in. He's like, "Look, I'm drawn up to 16. Clearly, I don't care about it." It's like when you see people pull the weapon lev shield, you immediately think that why'd they pull that shield? Because they're probably playing weapon lev. I should pull mine too. Um, Sometimes it's funny how often that happens when you see someone in a real life game. They're like, "All right, I'll deploy Vader in front of Luke. I'll pull my weapon lev shield," and then the light person goes, "Ah, crap. Are you pulling yours so because you think I'm playing it, or because that thought is in your head because you're staring at the weapon lev in your hand and you're about to play it on me? So you're gonna then I have to pull my shield too." Yeah. No surprise here. The legend player going to space first against Huntdown. That seems to be a pretty safe bet. Set up in space, work your way to the ground afterwards. And he will deploy Ray. That'll get him a use pile pull, which will get him back the best card out of all the cards that just got put back with Monarch, or the 8 force he spent to deploy Ray and the Tantive. I could send you a local matchup, Throne Room versus Map, one card diff. Uh, I appreciate that, Gornall. Um, we've seen Throne Room versus Map quite a few times, so I'm going to politely decline, but I appreciate the offer. One card diff certainly makes it more interesting, but watching Throne Room play Map, we got quite a lot of that at Worlds and the months leading up to it and after it. I think we're in a place now where there's a lot of new deck ideas floating around. We've seen a lot of new SSA starts, whether it's Bring 'em Before Me, ISB, the Dark Deal, like those kinds of starts, or just people doing random locations. Do like the Malls 2.0 site, and then SSA for Watto's Junkyard, or even the Cantina, and you just deploy them all for free and then move them over to the Cantina, and now you're threatening like a drain of 4 on turn 1. Um, yeah, we've seen quite a few of those things. Okay, so Vader never hit the table, so we got Blizzard 4, and he's pulling Tarkin for 2 force, and there's Vader for 6. And we'll probably see him grab a lightsaber. Tarkin will get out. He can pay 1 for upkeep on Blizzard 4. And as they say, business is about to pick up. Thoughts on stunning move? Still feels bad versus throne room. There's a couple of builds of a stunning move right now. I mean, that certainly do seem interesting. The destroyer droid version, which is still out there, people have been steering away from. It's been gone. It's been going more towards like the mains style decks with, the evil is everywhere, given Grievous and Maul and Dooku lightsabers. Um, that one seems like it's picking up a lot in popularity and has been pretty strong. And I'm sure as that deck gets more refined, it'll probably hold up better against Throne Room. The Destroyer Droid deck actually does fairly well against Throne Room because you kind of just funnel them into one site, and as your droids reduce their defense value, um, cumulatively, the Destroyer Droid and all your interrupts are 4s and 5s anyway. The Destroyer Droids start picking off Jedi, and you kind of just get into like a meat grinder situation where the droids end up on the racks and the Jedi end up in the lost pile. Um, So as long as you have the Gix to cover the battle damage, eventually the droids can win out. That's what Matt Curley had success with at Worlds, and we saw Reed Smith use prior to that at, I want to say that was U.S. Nationals last year, that Reed was playing that. But I'm excited by the new variations that we're going to get out of it with seeing some more light side, dark side episode one mains is kind of what they're calling it, off a stunning move with the Grievous stuff. And I know um, on actually my game this month, my last OCS game was against JagTech, um, and he was playing that, and well, I was playing a horrible matchup for him playing EBO. So he had all his guys with lightsabers, and I had Luke in a speeder, which um, yeah, wasn't really going to get hit by anything there. So, but there's some good versions out there, and like I said, that's a deck that I'm sure will get refined. The best versions of it will make its way out, and as the light side meta shifts away from other things as well, as more and more decks pick up in popularity, and just the field is very wide open right now. Um, so I think Stunning Move is in a good spot right now. Maybe we'll call it like 1.5 in that tier list, but I don't really keep track of that kind of stuff. It's a good deck. It's not a great deck, but it's a pretty good deck. And if you get familiar with it and you know what cards to dig for, that can certainly make a difference as well. Whether it's your opponent just conceding it, or even if you don't need a card, just picking a card that you're pretty sure like they're not going to want you to have. Oh, and there's Monarch number 2. Or he tracked it around and forlummed it back. He's going to grab it this time. I think right now somewhere Matt Wadden just flipped over his computer. Uh, Ask Joe Olson about destroyer droids. Do I have to? Can you just tell me, Dan? Since you're actually listening, you must not be working very hard. Oh, so he's saying it's the same one. Who plays more than one Monarch, really? Marines 28, that's who. Well, this is clearly going to be tough to get through. 18 power, 2 battle destiny, a game text canceling action, and a weapon swing. Padme can cancel his text. If you could Leia's gun to get rid of Darkin, to get rid of the second battle destiny. Leia's gun could also get rid of the Blizzard Walker. That could help too. And then Rebel leadership to limit the destiny. But he just got his hand put back for the second time, so methinks that may have just completely screwed up whatever tracking he had gone. Non-V Tarkin? Is it non-V Tarkin? It is non-V Tarkin. Well, that's not surprising. Torch is an old school player, so being able to cancel a destiny draw, because again he's selling out on dueling. That's what he's trying to do here. So it's non-V Tarkin to cancel draws, because his basic plan is to initiate a epic duel during battle, and then use Tarkin to cancel one of his opponent's dual destinies, because Tarkin cancels any destiny during battle. So he can cancel weapon destinies, he can cancel battle destinies, attrition destinies, or dueling destinies. And since he's selling out on the epic duel, that's why the non-V Tarkin. Good pickup. Currently furloughed. Oh, okay. Well, sorry to hear that, but hey, Esquire, thank you for renewing your subscription. Month number 16. Joe lost to Kevin's ASM droid deck. It was his 12th game, and he ended up going 10-2 this month. Yeah, Kevin's a stunning move droid deck is pretty strong. with the forced servitude. I've played against that once or twice, and it can be a pain in the ass. If he can hold a site with the forced servitude, so you can't cancel it, and he's just throwing droids away and then getting them back, he's throwing droids away to force drains. It's like, oh, I'll drain for 3 with my guys with their lightsabers. And you're like, I'll just lose a droid from hand to cover the 3 damage. You're like, all right, this game's going to take a lot longer than I thought. Um, all right, so we got Solo going to the docking bay by himself. Well, that seems like a bait move. And then you got Holdo now on the Tantive. And Jones is going to draw a couple more cards to try and get something going again. I figured the effect itself is enough sometimes. Oh, not sure what effect. After that card did end up beating him with my legend earlier this month. It's like Savrip for droids. Yeah, except you can, like, Savrip only covers battle damage, and things like that. You forfeit stuff from hand. Force Servitude for droids, but it's any force loss. So, if your opponent's like, oh, I'll do a good blaster ping for 3, and you're like, I'll just lose a droid. Drain for 3, lose a droid. And Tartag, thank you for renewing your subscription. Running Crush without the Monarch. Yeah, Running Crush pretty much always just keeps your opponent at 12 cards because they're just waiting, because they know you're just waiting to pull the Evader Monarch out of your deck until some point in time at which they draw above it. And then most of the time, unless you verify and see that they don't have it, then maybe you take your chances. Or you just have a bunch of crappy cards you don't care about them putting back, and you kind of make them play it so then you can grab it to get your stuff back. I do that all the time. Drain 3. Odin Nestler combo. Where are you looking for me? Effective repairs combo. This is the one that also stops droid racks. Plays a card stacked on droid racks in opponent's lost pile. It also hits strategic reserves, which is kind of unnecessary now since they blanked virtual strategic reserves. Perhaps this is a card that may need to be updated and tweaked. I mean, I guess it could still stop the generic version, but I can't imagine people are playing non-unique stormtroopers. Maybe set your course playing Death Star Gunners. Those were the days. Those were the days. I don't want my opponent to draw a lot of cards, but I don't ever want to slum down to the people that play Monarch or Grimtash either. Alright. So what do we got? He deployed Finn as a react. The Lanado Breed combo got played to cancel the react. Then we're going to get a flip of the objective to prevent the weapons from being used. So Aura Singh cannot shoot Solo and thereby make him forfeit 0. Oof, he draws a circle. Good thing you can make him redraw that. I have a feeling he's probably got some pretty high destinies floating around in here. Yeah, there's a turn it off. Okay. I'm going to guess he's probably got 2 circles and 2 Vader's obsessions. Now he's going to play a force projection to try and draw and subtract from that. I don't know that I agree with that move here, unless you know what you've got coming up, because chances are you're probably not going to draw a 5 and still lose Solo anyway, right? Alright, what do you know? He drew a 5. Maybe his Destiny was better than that, and he's got all the good cards in his hand, or the low Destiny cards in his hand. So that's going to be a wash. So 0 Battle Destiny, Solo will get to live. That could be lucky, that could be good. I don't know. Sometimes a little bit of luck is all you need. So there's the clash. He draws the Clash for Destiny, so Solo will live, Aura will die, and now he will get to continue draining for free while losing 1 to Visage. Ooh. Well, for those of you not reading the chat, this Wednesday, Queso and Dan on their Holotheater show will have special guest Justin Desai. Tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's exciting. I wonder what you guys will be talking to Justin about. I'll have to find out on Wednesday. Speaking of which, if you have questions that you would like them to ask Justin, feel free to submit them either through Slack or private message on the forums to either Jerry or Dan, and they will, see if it's a good question. They'll be sure and try and squeeze it into their interview with Justin. Oh, we've got a lull in the action here. Also, want to go ahead and put this out there. So obviously, we're all stuck at home, or many of us are stuck at home, and I decided to spread a little good cheer this week. So one lucky fan of the show will receive a package on hopefully Wednesday that I sent out a little good cheer, a little pay it forward kind of thing. So we've seen a lot of people reporting on this stuff lately. Just trying to put some good vibes out there. Obviously, we keep watching the news, and all we see is just, how many virus cases, and the new death counts, and it's pretty depressing stuff. So, you got to try and find some ways to spread some joy in the world. So, this morning, I dropped off at the post office a care package that I sent out to one lucky fan of the show, which should hopefully arrive on Wednesday. I sent it priority mail, one of them priority mail boxes. So I will let you know it is going to a player west of the Mississippi, and hopefully that player will appreciate the gesture and perhaps pay it forward to someone else in the community, and we can all spread a little joy, spread a little cheer to each other, sending each other hopefully not disease-infested packages, but just some regular uh, enjoyment, happy stuff. Ask him how to upset a number one in the NPC. That's probably what I'll be attempting to do. Play good cards. Just play good cards. Just play cards good. I will say the answer to your question is you have to play flawlessly. It really is. If there's something Justin doesn't know how to do in Star Wars, it's probably upset someone. That's a pretty safe bet, Chris Kelly. It's been a long time since Justin hasn't been a favorite at an event. You're probably talking going back to 2000, 2001, 2000. I mean, Justin has an incredible memory. He will pull stuff out of his. Yeah, remember this time at this tournament, and then I did this, and then you did that, and then this happened, and yeah, and then we played this other guy afterwards. He's got an incredible memory. The stuff him and Mike can pull up and can remember happening. So he may remember games he played in '99 or 2000 where he was not a favorite to win a tournament, and you know I'm sure he's probably going to say just make smart decisions. Um, a lot of times that's what it is. Bad players beat themselves. They do things that are not optimal, that leave themselves exposed to risk, that they over deploy or they under deploy or they rely very heavily on the fact that, oh, I'm safe here. I've got a barrier, so I'm going to stop it. And you're like, well, you stopped Core and Horn, but you didn't stop these other two guys. So pretty safe chance that somebody's about to get their butt kicked, or they cancel your barrier, and then you're going, oh, well, now my guy gets hit and is forfeit 0, and I peel 17 cards. You're like, yeah, I thought I was safe. I had a barrier. Were you really safe? So But those might be good questions to ask Justin. Like I said, he's got an incredible memory for stuff like that. So, was Justin a favorite at Worlds last year? Yeah, yes, he was there. So, yes, he was a favorite to win the tournament. All right, so we got going on here. We've got a redraw. He took Qui-Gon into hand. He draws a perimeter scan. Then he's playing You Do Have Your Moments to draw a 7. Torch draws a 6, which he's going to cancel and make him redraw. And there's that turn it off again. And I guess he will lose Finn here and send him to the used pile, courtesy of Rose. Because she loves him. She will save him. This should be like once per game. May place him in your used pile instead. We don't have Paige yet, though. Her sister, do we? Now be set 13. And then we'll do a reset. No, no, just kidding. Okay. So Visage is canceled. That'll slow down the damage. Leia's there to cancel this drain. That'll slow down the damage. So he's got Leia Rebel Princess. Interesting. So light side looking like they're in a pretty decent spot here. Although Coward is out, so they're going to have to get this battleground back. He'll pay 3. Leia will cancel it. And then he's going to 3PO a card to take You Do Have Your Moments right back into hand. It's an annoying card to play in Legend because you can cancel and redraw and then use the objective to make them redraw. Um, Certainly could be a bit of a pain in the butt. Really forces you to leave extra cards than you probably wouldn't want to. What will the Pats do without Tom Brady? Same thing they did in 2008. Alright, so we got Forlom and Dr. E going down. I'm going to guess he's going to move at least Vader over here in front of Leia. Jones is in a pretty decent spot right now, though. I mean, Leia's about to get squeezed out here, but he's at 17 to about the same 17, same cards in hand. Visage damage is canceled. He's draining for 2 in space, as long as Leia can block this drain. So there comes Dr. E. There comes Forlom. And that's it. So he's using Forlom to stop Leia's text from blanking this. And he didn't leave any force back either. Interesting. This seems dangerous. It really does. This seems like one of those moves where I'm not sure what exactly he's hoping to accomplish by this. Because these guys aren't good enough to force Leia out. He can put anybody down here and clear these guys right out. Jones will drain first. He's going to add one with I think I can handle myself. Because this just adds 1 to force drain where you have a female character. Doesn't say out of sight. It's a good utility use of that card. There goes a Gick from hand, a Vader from hand. And he top decks Maul's ship. I think he's playing at least 2 of those because I feel like one of them was the AI and one of them was not. Yep, that's not surprising at all. So we've got a Qui-Gon. Oh, he can't battle because Leia's there because of the Huntdown objective. That's why he moved over. But of course, now he's just made it that much harder for his opponent to battle him too, so. So, can't battle him here. But at the same point in time, he's not going to get much by battling him. So Leia's still going to be able to cancel this drain again. Oh, looks like he's going to back it up. Or he's going to try to back it up. Yeah, it's one of the forgotten text in the back of the hunt down objective sometimes. Opponent cannot initiate battles or force drains where they have a Jedi or Skywalker. And a lot of times people forget that Leia is a Skywalker. Anakin gets hosed by it too. That is one of the tricky parts of playing the old Allies matchup. Because Leia and Anakin are 2 key characters in that deck for them, and they don't have any Jedi, so the hunt down is pretty much always on the 0 side. Alright, so instead Jones is going to put Qui-Gon over here. That's going to flip Huntdown back to the 0 side, and it's going to give him his sight in his system. So now he can possibly find Solo just by drawing a 5. Search party rules. For those of you unfamiliar with how a search party works, during your control phase, each of your characters present may attempt to form a search party. You don't have to have everybody be part of the search party. For each character, you draw a destiny. You add 1 to your total for each character looking for them. 2 if they're a scout. And if your total is greater than 5, you find 1 missing character there at random. Usually it's only 1 guy missing, but sometimes with Ice Storm or whatnot, you've got a bunch of people missing. So in this case, Qui-Gon is there. He adds 1 to the total. He needs to draw greater than 5. So if he draws a 5 for Destiny, he will have 6, and he will find Solo. Characters that are in a search party may not move or battle for the rest of the turn. However, they can still force drain. He can't epic duel Qui-Gon, but he'll probably get half of a saber swing canceled. I would have moved 3PO out just so he isn't lost in a battle. 3PO is kind of irrelevant at this point. He's just extra forfeit. He's 1 extra power. He's 3 extra forfeit. So when, hey, it's P60. Destiny plus 2 greater than defense value. And that 1 extra forfeit may come in handy. Or extra forfeit there. P60 is probably just going to shoot 3PO and cause the 2 force loss. Yep. Do you want to make him redraw it? Now, actually, he's not going to make him redraw that. Instead, he's going to make him get no battle destiny. Either way, it's kind of the same thing. It's not like P60 was ever going to miss. So, but we know he's got the. You do have your moments in hand. Plus, he's got the objectives text. So, Uh, Dark side's not going to get a battle destiny here. They're going to both get redrawn. Light side's going to draw their destiny. Maybe it's a 5. Hey, look, it's an emperor. Redraw. Oh, hey, look, it's another 6. Redraw. No destiny for you. And he's going to grab that annoying ass card. Smart move. Even though 3PO's gone, he could still track it around with Ray or something. And there's a 6. That's a big 6. Because now he can just peel 3 cards to keep Leia if he wants. He could lose Leia. She's kind of stuck in a rock between a rock and a hard place at this point. But it certainly prevents him from taking any overflow, which is important. And it lets him track around the 6. So he can definitely make sure he rescues Han. Is this a drain +1 or anything? Instead of draining here, you can retrieve a weapon or device? Yeah, I don't think that's really going to matter in this game, but you never know. Legend player needs to have Hujix. Does he need it? Depends on destinies, I guess. Yeah, Moments is definitely pretty solid. Wonder why he isn't running General Leia. He could have one of each. Maybe that's why he lost Leia there, because he's going to put General Leia somewhere else. Um, Scum's pretty popular, so being able to use Rebel Princess against Scum might seem to be worth it. All right, here's our search party. And he's going to draw the fly casual. And he will successfully find Solo. Lone Star. Now he's got a drain of 1 at the docking bay. He's got a drain of 2 in space. And he's got a drain of 2 over at the Hollow Theater. And Rose can also retrieve 1 because you just have to have a female on the table, right? Present at... Oh, she has to be at a battleground site. Okay, so there's no retrieval. But he's still causing 5 force loss in a game where he's already slightly ahead, so... Oh no, not a counter assault! Oh, I spoke too soon. This is game over. Hear Me Baby is the card you need to get away from that. So many annoying cards. Yes, that's what old school players do. They play all these old annoying ass cards that people are not familiar with, that half of them have counters and shields that they just don't ever really care about. See, he did have a General Leia in hand. So now instead of a drain of 2, it's going to be light side losing 9 force. Ouch. The sad part is that they're still ahead. Yep, clearing him off the board. Yep. Yeah. It's certainly a rough card. He will get to retrieve 1 from Walkling. So now we're looking at 13. And there's Finn, so that'll up the drain here, make this a drain of 2. So now he's got 2 and 2. Whether or not he'll feel brave enough to drain over here again, I think you're going to have to. So he's doing 4. even if he does 4 damage a turn and he's not paying for it versus his opponent who's doing 4 damage a turn but having to spend 6 to do so, I'd say light side is still slightly ahead in the situation. 8 and 6, 14 cards versus 17, so he's a little behind on life force totals. Um, so yeah, he's probably going to have to risk a drain over here again. He did just draw a bunch of cards. Maybe he's got a Hear Me Baby now. We've seen him draw it for Destiny before, so. Or perhaps he top decked it, and in which case then Solo could get it from him, get it for him. Let's see if it's come up recently. Profundity, Chewie, Jin, Leia, Mess, Hujix. Nope. Torch runs multiples. That doesn't surprise me one bit. All right, he's gonna waste Maul over there, and he's gonna battle, and he's gonna get clear that out because he's gonna draw. Oh, he only left one Destiny, so I guess he's not gonna battle because he screwed that up. If he battles here, he's not getting Battle Destiny. It's gonna get redrawn. Yep. And instead, he's just gonna 4 llama card and pass. Well, that's okay. He only drained for 3. He didn't drain for 4 with P60. So it's 16 to 11, but he's about to eat 2 and 2, which is pretty much going to even that back out. And then he. Oh, no, don't play the Hear Me Baby. Oh. Well, there's the simple tricks to cancel it. And there goes the Blizzard 4 out of play. And he does get to retrieve a weapons display because he deployed Maul and didn't battle. So that'll certainly help things out a little bit. But he is very likely going to need that Hear Me Baby back. That would have been a savage lost in the wilderness to get him back. Move Corrin and Rose off the Executor through the docking bay and start retrieving. That's looking to be a little expensive there, Dano. Your transit from here requires 7 force, so by the time they get there, I don't know who's going to have 7 cards left to do it. Instead, he's just going to keep pinging away for 2 and 2. Lose Masterful from hand. P59 off the top. He's got 1 card left, so you got to keep Corrin and Rose together. Oh, drop Ahsoka. Okay. There you go. That's another way to do it. I was going to say you could just move them away. Obviously, his opponent can't drain there. But instead, he's going to drop Ahsoka Tano, surprise, sneak attack, and Darth Maul. Isn't that like a cartoon or something? She also subtracts 1 from the draws. So when he draws a 6, that becomes a 5. Might as well just let that go and just lose Corrin Horn and keep Rose and Ahsoka together. I guess he's preparing for the fact that he may get counter assaulted again, so he's losing both characters to get them off the table. Okay. Perhaps he's watching the show and hearing us discuss it. No. I don't have a submitted game to review this week. I didn't have time to really. I got a few links, but I didn't have time to really figure something out. Been busy doing other stuff. So this is a live game that we're just kind of going through here, and then we'll just do a quick recap of anything else that's in the lobby, any last minute OCS games, and then call it a night. Kind of keeping this a little bit of more of a low key stream today. There's a gold leader, there's a resilience, there's a BB-8. And he pays 3 to drain, which gets canceled because of simple tricks. And there are no other battlegrounds for Torch to occupy, unless he's going to go park in front of Qui-Gon. And that's probably going to spell the end of things for Torch. You can keep it close diff-wise, but this should be game here. As he's going to lose 6. Well, if he's got a counter assault, he can try and counter assault this drain. Do your other 2 drains first. Drain in space and drain with Ahsoka. Yeah, 14. If he draws 3 6s, he gets to 18. Oh. No extra counter assault. That's definitely not going to work up there. Maybe he only has the 1. Obsession in circle. So he's got exactly 6 cards left, and he's losing 6 cards next turn to Force Drains, and Torch is just going to scoop it. So congrats to Jones on picking up the win there. We never got to see a duel, which was kind of disappointing, but we did get to see a counter assault and a couple of Monarchs, which, it's always a fun thing to see. Looks like there is an OCS game wait. Looks a lot of people have late games left. We'll see if there's any more. WAP versus IE. That probably would be an interesting game to watch, but you guys can feel free to do that on your own. We'll take a quick another peek at the scoreboard. Doesn't look like anything else changed here. Bill still has 1 game left to play, and 3 for Mike, 1 for these guys. All right, so you guys have just under 24 hours left, so get your OCS games in tonight. Make sure you get to at least 8 to get 1 copy of the foil, which I showed off before. It's an AI of Dooku's lightsaber, and if you get to 12 copies, you get to 12 games, you get a second copy of the foil mailed out to you. But that's going to match it up. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope everybody continues to stay safe out there, continues to find ways to keep getting your Star Wars on, and looking forward to having some brackets for you in the next week. We'll be working on them later this week, over the weekend, and hopefully announcing them perhaps next Monday. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I'll get with the guys. We'll figure it out. We'll get the brackets done, and then we'll have some NPC stuff to talk about, and everybody can start going to all their alts, creating all your extra accounts so you can start secretly playing your other games and trying to figure out who's who and how that's all going to go. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to tune in Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dan and Jerry will interview Star Wars CCG Hall of Famer and 2-time world champion Justin Desai.